of what this movement entails and the narcissism, as you say, behind it, look up the video of Lauren Boebert at CPAC this past year, which they probably shouldn't have had because, we had COVID. And I'm pretty CPAC, CPAC, if you can't understand it, because it might have sounded like CPAP. I'm not saying CPAP, not pulmonary, whatever, like CPAC. Yeah, that shit. CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Committee, whatever. I think that's what it stands for. But anyways, that chick, Lauren Boebert from Colorado, who owned a restaurant where all the waitresses open carried. That's her claim to fame and how she got into Congress. She's on stage. She's got her little leather vest on, her tight ass jeans and her boots. You didn't know that about her. You didn't know that about her.
No, I didn't. How does that qualify you for any political office exactly?
Well, she's a business owner, you see. She owned a restaurant. Okay? So that qualifies. And she actually has a GED, mind you.
Great. I'm glad she kind of graduated high school.
So high school dropout. You know what? And here's the thing that's really conflicting about this. I'm a person with a shady background, with a criminal background. Now, luckily, I made a deal and it became a misdemeanor, but I could have been a felon. And I always hint at this and I never explain it. And I'm just going to keep it that way for anybody who listens and just wants to know. I'm just going to keep it that way because it's nothing sexual. It's nothing I'd be canceled for. It's like if I told the whole story, people might say, hey, we could make a movie out of that if I'm being honest about it. But we're just moving on from there. As a person who believes themselves to be intelligent and who has a shady background, I do appreciate the fact that we are electing people who haven't taken the typical path to Congress, who haven't just like graduated, went to a really good 4-year school with a poli-sci degree, went on to graduates. Like, I'm glad that we're finally electing people who are of the people. But why are we electing the craziest fucking ones? And I didn't even say what this chick was doing because this was the point of this whole thing. Like, if you want to see this personified, she's on the stage to CPAC. She got her little vest on, her tight ass blue jeans. She's good looking, At least you got a nice tight little body on her. I watch that. That's what gets all the dudes in the corner. Like, well, this is my point. This is what gets all the dude in the crowds fucking horned up about it and why they like don't vote with their conscience and why. Well, we don't even get to that why. But she's just walking around. I don't know why I'm going to do this because this is quote unquote radio. But she's like finger gunning. She's like walking around like, all right, get you. You know what? And how about this other thing? You think you know what masks are going to do? We don't know what masks are going to do. Pew! Then she like struts back and forth like another time, like, okay, here's the other thing. We want to keep our guns. Pew, pew. And everybody's like, yeah.
I know no one can see it, but the way you're displaying her physically is like she's fucking Yosemite Sam.
Exactly. No, it's exactly what it was, dude. She just like hands at the hip, just walking around like finger gunning, like feeling herself like all too much. And it's the narcissism of like you have no qualifications. Sure, you open up a restaurant. Maybe your restaurant was successful, and maybe you figured out a little bit of a like niche with your gun, fucking your girls with guns, like sort of thing. Like, I get it. I love a hot girl in a big truck. There is something about it. I don't know what it is, but it fucking gets me off. I get it. Like girls with guns, girls in a big truck. There's something about it. You know what I mean? But like specifically hot girls in a big truck. Like an old Chevy, like an old lifted Chevy, the real hot hippie girl driving it. Man, that's some hot shit.
You're not into a 300-pound toothless chick driving around in a Chevy S10?
No, hot girl in a Chevy. Come on.
that technically meets your qualifications.
I said hot girl in a Chevy. Anyways, what I'm saying
well, maybe
is,
the air conditioning's broke. It probably is.
All I'm saying is that, like, I can understand the allure, but this is our government, folks. You know, and we're so far off the point. I made like 6 points without completing them. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. But it's just the narcissism of the idea of people thinking they know more than what they do. And I get it. You see a hot girl and go, duh, I agree with you. I agree with the hot girl. I haven't been laid in fucking 3 years. I agree with the hot lady, but just stop it. Just stop it. Just fucking stop it. Okay.
Stop it.
Trump in February of 2019 came out and said that month it was the lowest that people had used SNAP benefits for 10 years. SNAP benefits being food assistance, right? Like, yeah, right? Okay. So the reason why it was the lowest that SNAP benefits have been giving out in 10 years was that in 2009, it was the financial crisis and a whole bunch of fucking people went on welfare. And also the month that he made that declaration, they just happened to defer the payments a month. So all the payments from that month actually got counted on the next month. So not only did it decrease the number for the month that he was saying it, it also was comparing it to the Great Recession. So it was just he was saying the truth, but it was a very savvy political thing to say.
Yeah, shady diversion of kind of the truth.
Right. And the beautiful thing about this is I heard this story and I wrote that down because it made me think, like, how much is this tactic used by politicians? And and it is a lot, but I wanted to find, like, this was something I wrote down for like a couple weeks down the road, like conversation that I was going to research. And I shit you not, but right before we started recording, I'm listening to NPR and Joe Biden is talking about how it's the most job growth we've ever had for a president in their first year ever. And I'm like, yeah, because of COVID, you fucking jack. Like, literally, I was like wondering. I was gonna research an example, and right before we got talking, like, he fucking like gives me one.
Let one sit in your lap right there. Yeah, man. Obviously, of course, like, things opened up again. Everyone was, well, I shouldn't say everyone. Even I was not out of a job last year. Because I was essential, if you didn't know.
Oh, I always know you're essential, baby. Yeah.
Thank you. But, yeah, of course. Like, many people were either out of a job or at the very least working from home last year. Of course, the statistics are gonna look real good for this year when things open up again.
Right. No, it was so obvious. Like, I didn't even need to like go online and like look up numbers against it. It was just like, you fucking asshole. Like, I just had this thought this morning or yesterday, whichever one it was. You know, I was like, oh, thank you for just dropping that like perfect example. Like, oh, the only first president to have this much job growth. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why that might have happened.
Mystery.
It's because clearly you're doing such a good job. You're just such a great president. You fixed everything, you know. Like, and I'm not trying to have a political conversation. Like, I don't dislike him. I'm glad that he's our president, not Trump. But I'm not going to sit here and say he's fucking fixing anything. Like, he's not fixing shit. Well, he did fix it. I will give him Afghanistan. I actually believe in what he did. I'll say that, but. Whatever. Okay, so moving on from that, yeah.
Just speaking of kind of vaguely political reasons, today I had two stories. This is a first. People return different things at my work for all kinds of dumb reasons. I had two stores today. They're both connected. They're like two locations of the same name. and they they returned.
We're recording.
Yeah, I know we are. Both stores returned a big box of this new line of dog toys that we sent them because they found out they were made in China.
What?
Yeah, and like that is a first. I've never heard of someone returning toys for political reasons.
You know what? Okay, so this is like kind of off your point, and I'd like to go further on that. But what blows my mind, it just reminded me of this. Do you remember when everything at Walmart used to be made in America?
I wouldn't have noticed if
you would have been too young because it probably actually was only till 1992. So you were probably not even born.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was somewhere between 92 and 94. But it used to be that everything in Walmart and why they like grew to such prominence was because everything was made in America. I remember my grandpa, who was a racist motherfucker, talking about never buying some Jap crap car and going, you got to go to Walmart because everything's made in America. You know what I mean? Like, so that's some.
Even though Walmart is notorious for fucking over all of their vendors, American or not.
But this was the 90s, though. This is 30. They weren't.
I would put money on they were doing the same shit back
then. They did not have that fucking power yet at this time. It's fucking insane. If you look at like how they grew, and I remember when Saukville got that Walmart and everybody was so fucking excited about it. And people couldn't talk. The town was there was confetti raining down on the streets weekly, daily, nightly, every morning there was confetti. Because Walmart was coming to town in Saukville, man. They
didn't even have a machine. It was just coming from the heavens. It was
like manna from the heavens. Like God was like, yes, Walmart, have more, buy more cheaply. Yes, yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. And everything had this little tag on it. Made in the USA, made in the USA. And I don't know. It's like kind of how the Republican Party like stole like religion, even though none of their ideals have anything to do with it. It's just kind of like, we'll tell you this just enough until you believe in us. And then right when you do, we're going to take it all away, but you're going to be stuck anyways, you motherfuckers.
Did Walmart have what is now like, I forget if I have ever riffed about this on the podcast, but the ethnic food section, was that made in America at the time?
Well,
like,
yeah.
I doubt it.
No, like because like Walmart didn't have groceries back in those days either. You know,
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. That was before Super Walmart.
Yeah, actually, like before Super Walmart. Super Walmart was like early 2000s, late 90s, probably because that was my grandparents. Oh man, did my grandparents love Super Walmart? They used to like call me up and go like, "Hey, we're gonna go out to West Bend because it was even further. There was one further than the one in West Bend. We used to take like a 2-hour drive to go to the Super Walmart. Like, oh, you're gonna love it so much."
Man, I forgot about how, because I do remember kind of the start of that, because now all Walmarts are like that, right?
Yeah.
But I do remember it was like 15 years ago that the Saukville Walmart got converted to be like twice the size that it was originally. And that was to incorporate the like half grocery side. And wow, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and they wanted to, not this means much to, well, it might mean something to people listening because they probably do know, but where Camping World is, Walmart wanted to build the new Walmart, and they were like, fuck you, you're not just going to leave another abandoned building like Piggly Wiggly did when they went over to the fucking Pick and Save, even though that became the U-Haul, right? You know what I mean? But like they told Walmart, like, fuck you, like deal with it in your own fucking building, which... Yeah. Major kudos to Saukville on that one because not a lot of people tell Walmart fuck you. So I give them even though they built a Camping World, like how long is that shit gonna last?
Well,
it's probably gone already, isn't it?
No, it's not. That's what I was saying, a good 5 to 7 years ago when they built it, and it's still there somehow.